no reason that after we're done here tonight that you shouldn't go to forstonconsultants.com/webinars and watch the webinar, guys, because a lot of you have wanted to start a group home or traditional assisted living facility, but that stuff takes license. It takes a lot of time to open. There's a lot of red tape to jump through. You have to ask for permission. We teach you guys how to open an ILF, an independent living facility, where you can house the homeless, displaced adults, or anybody that has a guaranteed income, and it doesn't require a license, and you don't have to own the property. Make sure you watch that free webinar at forstonconsultants.com/webinars, and then set up a free strategy call so that me and my team can get you started. Let's get back to the show. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the live podcast. Don't wait to be great. I'm your host, Mr. Derek Forston. I represent Second Chance Housing, but also Forston Consultants, where my family and I, we go all over the world showing people what is this shared housing concept that we're talking about, that we've coined the phrase and trademark independent living facility. So again, we're going to talk a lot about that today. We're going to talk about some HRA stuff. And we always tell people, if you love God, love people, and love real estate, you're in the right place, because we're going to show you how to mesh all of those together. And we're also going to show and explain how it's different from a traditional group home or an ALF. Shay, who are you? What do you do?
I do a lot. Geez. So I'm Shania Shea Forston, the president and founder of the Angela Denise Foundation, which is a 501c3 nonprofit organization located here in Orlando, Florida, where we take women that have been homeless to hopeful, utilizing the Forston Consultants ILF model. And yes, I said it. I do that through the nonprofit business structure and setup. I'm also an expert consultant here at Forston Consultants, as well as a consultant to many different organizations that are startups, right? Startups and looking to build and develop their brand. So that's a little bit about me. I'm excited to be here today. A little tired, so forgive us. It's been a long week.
Yeah, we got a lot going on. So, but we always make a promise to make sure that we're consistent and that we're always here. God bless us many years ago, man, to start this housing program. And we always said that we always give back by coming on live. So we're here Monday, Tuesday, and Saturdays, usually every week. We haven't seen you guys probably since Monday, though. I think Tuesday we were out busy doing something, but I think we played something still. So all of our rooms are recorded. So if you're new to us, make sure that you subscribe to the YouTube channel. We have over 500 videos on this topic, on housing the homeless and the displaced. I'm super proud of that, because that took a long time. But guys, there's over 500 videos of us talking about something in terms of how to get started, what is this, how you don't need a license, how this does not have any state requirements. So this is the cheat code, as we call, for the housing side of things when you want to start your own housing program. For many of you all were just like me. You wanted to start something like this, but you thought you had to have a license. You thought you had to own the property. You thought you had to jump through all these different red tapes, right, and hula hoops to try to get into it. But simply, guys, if you just text the phrase more info, we put that on the screen. If you text the phrase more info, we're going to make sure that you get our introductory webinar, which also gives you an opportunity to speak to us live, right? So we want to get on a phone call with you. That's a free discovery call that we give everybody after watching that webinar. And simply, again, just by texting those two words, more info, MOREINFO, to the phone number 407-326-0086. You can do that later on, because right now we're live. But when you get a chance, watch that, set up that discovery call, and let's talk about how can we get you started in terms of where you live at.
I want to specify the importance of why we gear everybody to check out that webinar. A lot of it is because we want you to get a basic knowledge of what the ILF model is, why we've coined it, what it has the potential to do. And then from there, when we meet with you and we have that strategy call, the goal is for you not to ask surface level questions. Right. We want you to come to that strategy call with a brief understanding of what the ILF model is. So that way, if you really have those deep questions to ask, we can get those questions.
Yeah, but we want to make sure that we're able to go deeper with you, because 9 times out of 10, if you guys started just asking me questions, I guarantee you every question that you're probably going to ask me is in that webinar. So that's why we like people to watch the webinar first, so that your questions can actually go a little bit deeper than, like Shay said, just that surface stuff. So in other words, take full advantage of being able to speak to us for absolutely free, because we don't charge for our discovery calls, which may be something I will change in the new year. But For as long as I've been consulting, guys, the discovery call has always been free. And then the YouTube channel and our Instagram, Facebook, all of that stuff is full of information. So even
Exactly.
today, it's no different. If you guys have any questions or any concerns, let us know. I'm still going to give a brief overview because I never like to just take for granted that people know who we are and what we do. So just really quickly, again, I'm Derek. And I was a social worker for many years, guys. That's not rocket science. And I always wanted to get into the housing side of it. And just like many of you, I thought I had to have all of these licensures and own the property and have a sprinkler system. None of that was true, guys. And lucky for me, God showed me a lady that was making 41 grand a month doing this, y'all. But she was housing people in rats and roaches, and she was mistreating people. People's beds were on the floor and all kind of craziness. And when I saw
Right.
that, because I'm real honest about that, y'all. I saw the vision of that. I was like, man, I got to get in this. I'm making 28 grand a year, barely being able to feed my family. And this lady mistreating people, making 41 grand a month. Let me get in this and let's
Yeah.
change how people are being housed and let's change how people are being viewed when it comes to homelessness, right? These people are no different from us. They just hit a stumbling block along the way in life and it caused them to be homeless or displaced or houseless, as we're using this new term now. And
Right.
then we offer this thing that's called a shared living environment. And again, guys, that's just simply where adults are able to live and thrive without the need for staff and or medical oversight. So I'll bring up a few slides, and most of y'all that has been around us know us very well. But if you're new to us, our whole job is to take the idea that you have to help people and help you implement it, right?
Yeah.
Our whole slogan of our June event just a few months ago was from idea to implementation. Because again, many of you have had the idea to do this, but you just had no clue of where to start. And again, most of y'all were just like me. People hid it from you. You got a lot of misinformation, and you thought you had to have all
Yeah.
of these things that you really don't. So for the independent living facility model, guys, and I'll wrap it up here. As long as you love God, love people, love real estate, and you have some patience, like this is an absolute great ministry for you to be in. And notice I use the word ministry.
Correct.
Even though this is a business shade, even though we
Yeah.
got LLCs and nonprofits and we're dealing in real estate, this is still to the core of it, ministry. You want to talk about that shade and how you do this from a nonprofit and how it's still ministry?
It's always going to be ministry, right? We're taking care of the poor, the needy, the less fortunate, the least of these. That's what the word says. And when we do it the right way, and you're really doing it with that passion and the heart for Christ and the heart for God's people, you'll see greater outcomes, not only for those individuals, but for yourself as well, right? The blessings wrapped in it.
Right.
Forston Consultants model is phenomenal. We hear about it often every time we meet with new providers, and they when we have open houses and stuff like that. We're always being told how they're so grateful for seeing our homes and being able to walk through them. So as a nonprofit organization, and any type of ILF owner operator, I implore you to have open houses, right? Allow for people that you'll be working with, community partners, whether it's hospitals, healthcare, organizations that will be move or placing people in your ILF or your housing program. You want them to see that you do have a genuine care for those individuals, and that you do have the fortitude to take care of them in a nice, clean, safe, affordable living environment. Talking about doing this from a nonprofit standpoint, man, it's very similar. My oversight of what I do is no different from Derek's. I run it the same. My documentation is the same. Everything that I do about my day to day is the same.
Yeah.
But from the nonprofit standpoint, prime example, there's a lot of partnership opportunities. Like I just received one on Sunday, that another organization wants to join me in providing like a day for the women where they'll get hair done, makeup, and photos, whether they need headshots for employment opportunities or even businesses that they're starting. They're willing to do all of those things for these women, and that's another organization, another nonprofit organization that's offering that service to us. Excuse me. So being a nonprofit, it's super exciting because you get so many different opportunities to partner with other nonprofit organizations to help pretty much expand the reach of what you're doing, and getting the word out, and partnering and doing different things together, collaborating. So it's no different other than the partnership aspect. I think I get to partner a little bit different. Grants. I get a lot of grants in. Have a lot of donors that donate, which helps to, in some situations and circumstances, it alleviates some of the rental payments or the bed fees for my ladies. But those are the benefits of being nonprofit, right? I can do a little bit more than just house. I can implement programs and classes and different things that can help you change the trajectory of the ladies that are houses life. So
That's
that's
good
what it is.
stuff. Good stuff. So again, guys, we're talking about the independent living facility model, which is what we call shared housing. These are not group homes. These are not ALFs. These are not assisted living facilities. These are not your IDD. This is not APD.
Right.
All of those require a license. This right here, what we're talking about, does not, because we're serving an individual or people that can live and thrive without the need for staff and or medical oversight
Correct.
or state supervision. So the people that we house, the ILF stands for independent, which means they can cook their own bologna sandwich, right? They can provide their own transportation, either through the Lynx bus system, the local bus system, wherever you guys live at, your local bus system, or they turn on the back of their insurance card and they call that number. They can take them anywhere they want to go. So again, you don't have to provide transportation. Now, if you scale this thing after a few years and you now implement transportation inside of your program,
That's a whole
that's
different
different. But
situation.
starting out, there's no transportation required. You don't have to cook for people, right? And you definitely don't have to give out medications. That's one of the biggest things that would normally get somebody in trouble
Yeah.
when they're trying to do this. When you're trying to give out, when you're trying to, I'll even use the proper term. When you're trying to administer medications,
Correct.
that's when you're going to get yourself in trouble. Because
Absolutely.
most of y'all that are watching this and that are joining us, you're not a nurse, you're not a doctor, you're not an LPN, you're not an RN, you're not any of that stuff. And guess what? You don't have to be, because the
Yeah.
people that you're serving, they can take their own medications. They know when to take it, how much to take, what time. Because if they don't, they're not independent and they
Right.
don't fit this model. So we serving a population of people that, again, that can care for themselves and that don't need any after treatment, pre-treatment, any of that stuff. They live and thrive without the need for staff. So essentially, somebody will say, well, Derek, you just rent rooms to people. Exactly. But we put more of a structure around it and more of a program base to make
Yes.
sure that it runs smooth. So some people, and this will answer your question, the Alexander family. Yes, we have rules.
A
These
whole
people
bunch
don't
of them.
just come here and live and there's a free-for-all, right?
Right.
The greatest part about the ILF model is that it's structured almost like your group home that would have the rules. So to make sure and ensure the safety of my program at Second Chance Housing, there are rules. In fact, on page 6 that we give y'all handbook, page 6 is rules that we have to go by to make sure Second Chance
Exactly.
Housing is safe, and that to make sure that we're in accordance to how we should be living, to make sure things are flowing well. Remember,
Right.
we're housing, so to speak, strangers.
Right. That's I
From
was
day
getting ready to
one,
say.
Shay,
I was getting ready to
these
say that.
people
Yeah.
don't know each other. So our assessment of who we're bringing in is very important.
Right.
So when people ask us, well, Derek, how you guys are choosing the right people? First of all, prayer, right? Our rule book
Yeah.
and the proper assessment. So when people ask us, well, Derek, what makes this so successful? God Almighty, right? The assessment in which we do to make sure we're getting the right person, softwares and systems, which we use digitalflowsolutions.net for every business we have.
Yeah.
Digitalflowsolutions.net. And then we also use virtual assistants. I'll admit, guys, I've been busy all week long,
It's
and I
been
haven't dealt with
wild.
Second Chance Housing all week long. But guess who was able to run my whole entire program? Jess, who's my assistant, who runs Second Chance
Yep.
Housing. Now, Jess lives in the Philippines, y'all, a whole nother world away from us, right? But Jess runs my program Monday through Friday from 9 to 5. When I can't be Derek, when I can't answer the phone and do assessments and social media and respond to
Yeah.
emails because I'm running another business that I just started, Jess is running my entire program. So I always let people know that as great as I am, I think I am, guys, I'm nothing without God first and these virtual assistants who also use our software system, Digital Flow Solutions, to make all of this work.
Yeah.
Shay, you want to hop in on that?
No, you said it. It allows having independence, right? And having people that are independent allows for limited oversight. Although we are active, we do, we show up,
Absolutely,
we're
we're
there.
active.
You have to be active to a point that you can assess well, because ultimately your assessment will be the thing that dictates the how nicely your house runs, right? If your assessment is done poorly, your household, the household that you're bringing people into will run poorly.
Yeah.
If you have some understanding, like prime example, Derek, for me, I have two types of women in my home right now. I have the working woman, the working individual who's super independent. Life hit, the climate that we're living in, life hits people. And honestly, it's my goal is to make their housing experience as normal as possible, right? Not I'm living in a ILF. No, you are shared living at this moment in time to be able to, appropriately maneuver or fix what needs to be broken in your lifestyle. The other person is the individual that has gone through tough times, is older in age, and cannot afford that housing outside of the shared living environment because of their limited income. So for me to bring in someone into this particular home that has schizoaffective bipolar type disorder or something, of that nature, that is not medication compliant, that is solely reliant on a case manager or a social worker to be coming to the house on a regular basis to assist them with life mapping, I would be doing the ladies in my home a disservice. I will not be facilitating a good, safe living environment because of the background or the information that I obtain from that assessment on this new potential resident that's looking to come in. So when you're working at building or starting an ILF, you want to be mindful that you have to know the climate of your house at all times in order to bring in the right people to keep that climate the same. So if it's cool, if it's calm, if everybody's getting along, if everything is just chill, no problem. But if you bring in that one bad seed, your whole home can be torn upside down in less than 24 hours.
I always say the quickest way to lose some good clients is bring in the wrong one.
And all it has to take is one
How many,
wrong
Shay?
one. One.
How many?
One.
No matter if you're housing 8 people already, it takes how many?
I'm going to tell on myself. So like prime example, I had a resident that moved in. This was about a year and a half ago. 2 years ago, actually. Did 3 assessments. But I knew Derek told me no. I knew it was a no, but I just saw maybe I can help, right? And I brought this young lady in, and Derek, as well as everybody knows, because we actually had a full room about this when it happened. Yep. We had a private group meeting with all of our ILF Mastery Blueprint members to discuss how I was maneuvering through this process. Within 24 hours, it was a mess. I mean, I went from having a house that I never received phone calls from to a house that I received a phone call every 20 to 30 minutes. The police never showing up to my property, to the police being there 3 to 4 times, to adult family services being called to my property, DCF doing walkthroughs at my property. Like, it was a nightmare. So when we tell you the importance of that assessment, we really mean that you have to be so consistent in your assessment. Don't ever rush a process. But for me, with this assessment, Derek, I assessed this young lady 3 times on 3 different occasions. Her case manager, her mom,
Is it normal for you to assess somebody so many times? Talk about that. So why did you assess so many times? I think you said it, but I want the people to really catch it because
I really felt like this was an opportunity to help, right? Even though I knew it was just too good to be true. Like, I knew, like, that in a man, when the Holy Spirit says no, just pay attention. I didn't. I just felt like honestly, it was more passion
Mm.
than it was being obedient, right? And it caused a lot of turmoil. It caused a lot of headaches. It caused a lot of issues with my ladies. I'm just grateful that my ladies know me.
And when you say ladies, what do you mean your ladies?
The ladies
Anybody
that I
that
house,
that's
yeah, the
you. So
ladies
you
that I
house
house,
women
women
only.
only.
Okay, got it.
Yep. So the fact of the matter that is like the relationship that I have with my residents at that time was so solid that they knew that something was going to transpire, that it was going to be fixed. So think about being a new ILF owner and operator in a situation like this where people really don't know you, or your residents don't really know you to fix things, right? They don't know you to be someone that they don't know. So if they don't trust that this is going to be fixed, they're all going to leave. The blessing about it was that my ladies that I housed knew, Shay doesn't tolerate this.
They know how
I
you do
already
business,
know.
in other
Right.
words. Let's just put it that way so we don't confuse
Right.
nobody. They know
We
how
know
you
how I
get
do
down.
business. Right. So they knew that this was
There's a
going to
problem,
be a
she'll take care of, in
process.
other
Right.
words.
Okay. Yes. So it's just being mindful that the assessment is important. You've got to gain the trust of your residents. And then also they've got to know that you really are going to do right by them, even in the event of a situation like my situation comes up where I did 3 great assessments, but I did not listen. I wasn't paying attention. And it caused for what, a month and a half of strife in that home. But again, like I said, super grateful. My ladies were able to be very accommodating throughout that process. And once it was done, it was done.
Yeah. And
So,
during your assessment, I'll just add to this, right? Especially you ladies, God has blessed y'all with something that us men don't have, and it's called intuition.
yeah,
So
I walked mine on the
all of
floor.
us, all of us has common sense. All of us have, I'll call it, the ability to make a decision. But I always say women are usually, and guys, y'all gonna get mad at me for this, but women, you guys are usually the better decision makers. And I'm gonna add to that, it's because of the extra thing God gave y'all that us guys don't have. We don't have intuition. So that little voice in the back of Shay's head, that was also the Holy Spirit, but that was an intuition that, hey, Shay, maybe this ain't a good idea. Also, me as the coach was telling her, Shay, I don't think this lady's good. But Shay's got inside of her what all of y'all have. And it's the ability and the want to help somebody.
Yeah.
You're going to find out in this, we can't help everybody, y'all. So the prayer is that when you go to bed at night, that God merges you and meshes you with the person that needs and wants the help. Correct. That would be appropriate for your house. Because a lot of these people need help, just like that lady. But Shay's ILF was not the appropriate placement for her. We've talked the first 20 minutes already about this being an independent living facility. That lady wasn't independent. Nope. She had a lot of stuff that by phone, she passed the test. But when she physically showed up, we was like, wait a minute, is this the same lady? Right? So make sure that you guys trust that inner voice, that intuition that you guys have. Guys, same way with you. We're led by the Holy Spirit. We're God-led people here, right? I'm no pastor, I'm no priest, and I'm no bishop. But we always tell people we love God, we love people, and we love real estate. Yeah. And God is so genius, he allowed us to merge all 3 of those together to do his will. So not Derek, not the Forston family, but God said that the poor will always be among us. So why not use something that God has also gave us charge over, land, real estate? Yeah. And let's do God's will, y'all, through real estate, because we believe at Forston Consultants that if we get housing right first, everything else now can just seemingly just fall into place. Obviously, we're going to keep God first. But for a lot of these people that don't know God, the first way that we're going to show them God is the love of God through real estate. And housing. That's powerful. I've never said that like that before. That's powerful. Because a lot of people y'all gonna meet, they don't know God. The first book of the Bible or the love of God that a lot of people gonna see is through you. And how great is it that you can show the love of God through real estate? Yeah. Because the other end of it is that God is so genius that God built this thing to where it's gonna help people, but it's also gonna feed your family. Because we believe in something that we want to please God, we want to help people, we want to be respected by the community while we're doing it. Yeah. But I also want y'all to make enough money to feed your family. Put a number 3 in the chat if you feel that for your family, because we live by that. So put a number 3 in the chat if you want to please God If you want to help people, you want to be respected by your community, but you want to make enough money to also feed and support your family. The Bible also says if a man don't work, he don't eat.
Yeah.
And again, I'm going to say this one more time. I'm no pastor. Troy, I'm no priest, and I'm no bishop. But Troy, you and your family just like us. Miss Cynthia, you from Polk County, so I know you just like us. You love God, you love people, and you love real estate. So my whole life, no matter what we doing, I want to please God. I want to help people. And y'all, some of y'all may slip on this, but I want my community to respect me while I'm doing it. That's a major part of this, and don't y'all miss that. I jokingly tell people, Shay, 6 years ago, 7 years ago, I was a nobody in my community. Nobody knew me. But guys, I'm somebody now, and it ain't because of how great I am.
Right.
When God gave me this housing program, it put us on the map. So when people think of help and housing, they think of me and Shay. And now God has blessed us with all these other businesses. When people think of power washing now, they think of me and Shay. But back to the housing side, please God, help people, be respected by your community. I want y'all to become somebody in your community.
Make a change.
But that last part, Shay, I want these people to make enough money to feed their family. Because some of y'all are just like me. Y'all want to leave y'all job to do this. Look at all these threes in the chat.
Yeah.
Some of y'all want to leave your job to do this. Some of y'all will say, Derek, my job don't bother me, Derek. I'm making Charmaine might be saying, Derek, you know what? My job ain't that stressful, Derek. I don't mind keeping my job and doing this. Well, y'all gonna be just like how my brother did it, right? So you can leave your job and do this and call yourself and get fancy like me, or you can keep your job like a lot of people we teach this to, and you leverage them both. But one more time, put a number 3 in the chat if you want to please God, help people, be respected by your community, and make a bunch of money doing it. Because some of y'all scared to say that last part. Because again, it's so tied to helping people. But guys, I have nothing to do with how God built it. This is ministry.
Yeah.
The poor will always be among us. Guys, this won't ever stop. So again, if you love God and love people and you want to merge real estate in it, this is true ministry right here. And I dare anybody to argue with that. And for the Lawrence family, thank y'all for coming back. Y'all asked the question about what's the first step to getting started. Is literally showing up here is one of them, right? Because we give this game away. But literally just texting that phrase more info to the phone number 407-326-0086. That's step 1. That's our introductory webinar that literally breaks down all of what this is, right? I'm gonna put the phone number right here on the screen. If you guys text that phrase, just 2 words, nothing else, more info to that number, you get a free webinar. After that webinar, my team is going to see that you watched it. They're going to set up a call with me and Shay so that we can talk to you personally. Now, while we on this live, I'm gonna just treat y'all like family, and we're gonna bounce around a little bit. But on that webinar, it's more in a chronological order of what to do, how to do it, and now let's get on the call. That's step 1 for everybody. Step 2 is subscribe to the YouTube channel and join us every Monday and Tuesday, 6 p.m. Eastern, Saturdays at 10 a.m., just like you're here now. Yeah. Soak up all of this free information, right? Because this is my promise to God, that I was going to come back and give it away. Now, after that, you decide whether you want the coaching or not, because our one-on-one coaching is called the ILF Mastery Blueprint. We also have the ILF Accelerator for people that maybe already kind of know what it is, kind of, sort of. Maybe you have a property. And then we got a do-it-yourself version of all of this coaching. So again, first of all, I'm going to say just thank y'all so much for being here. These are these internet streets. Y'all got a lot of choices of where you could be, and y'all chose to be here. So we appreciate that. So again, man, bring all your questions. We're going to take a quick commercial break. Think of some questions because I want to be able to pour into you guys in terms of answering questions. And I'm also going to pull about 5 questions that came from a group that I'm in that you guys did text to, and we'll be right back. Hey, what's going on, family? Just to let you know really quick, everything that you're listening to right now, I actually have it in a more structured way in a webinar. So when you guys get done here, go to forsterconsultants.com, click the tab that says webinars, and there's 2 webinars there. One is for you to be the actual ILF operator, meaning that you want to do it. And then the other one is the HRA. That stands for Housing Referral Agency, where you're able to take people from homeless to hopeful, and you actually don't need the real estate. It stands for a Housing Referral Agency, and we call it a business in a box. But definitely go to forsterconsultants.com, watch both of those webinars, then set up a free strategy call with me and my team, and let's see how we can get you started. Back to the show. Also, guys, don't forget to join the free Facebook Academy. That's our free Facebook group, right? Where we continue to just to pour into you guys. I throw a lot of sales and a lot of deals in that group as well. And if you're just joining us again, we're talking about the shared housing model, which we've trademarked independent living facility, which just simply means an environment where adults are able to live and thrive without the need for staff and or medical oversight. And what you guys are seeing on screen right now is a typical room in terms of what it looks like. So to answer the and I hope I say your name right, but the Ike family, IKE. And if I'm saying that wrong, I apologize. But we go by the twin bed model. When you do see the room that has the one bed in it, for us, Shay, that's called a what?
It can be a private room or a suite.
And Shay, just for your style, do you see more with you and how you do things in your program and more shared rooms or more private rooms?
I have more private than shared.
Talk about that.
So because of my demographic change, I think not the I still house females, but what's happening is the phone calls sound a little different now. These are working individuals that really, can afford the private model and can also utilize the privacy, right?
Okay.
So I've seen, like, I only have one shared room in one of my ILFs.
Okay.
Only one.
And do your calls come mostly for shared or private? Like, how did you decide that? Did the people decide it? Did you decide it?
No.
Did the phone calls decide it?
Yeah, as I started getting more calls coming in, like I said, the phone calls sound different. They're more of your average working individuals that fell on hard times, need a hand up, not a hand out. So that's what has started to drive my room type. The fact that the phone calls are, I need a private room. I'm a working individual. I just need somewhere to live because of this, that, and the other. So that's what it sounds like. Okay. Pretty much.
So guys, let's be a little bit of how I can call it interactive, right? So there's a couple of us here live right now. Put in the chat in terms of what you heard so far. Would you rather provide a shared accommodation with the 2 rooms, or if you went and got a 4-bed, 2-bath home, instead of doing 8 people, you would just do 4? So put in the chat. I would love to see from about 10 of you all. Would you do shared or private? And maybe even put in the chat why. Again, would you do shared or would you do private? And then I'm also going to go to the chat and answer some questions.
I'll answer that question as well. For me, I'm going to always say, let your community, for me, I let the community dictate what I need, right? And that's what I said just now. The phone calls changed. It's not the person that's, SSI, SSDI, very limited income. My population is the working individual that can afford a doable rent without having to worry about all of the utilities. So again, if my calls were more of my, mental health, behavioral health clients, limited income, that's where the shared living will come back into play, and be more of the shared rooms than it will be private rooms. But in this instance, my phone calls look different. My community's looking for something different. So that's what I'm doing. So that's for me. What about you?
You got it. So I actually typed mine in. So I think I'm going to type it and I'm going to show it. I like the shared and private, and I hate to say both, but I'm going to tell you why. Shared obviously means that I can help more people and I can make more money.
Right.
Private means that I can offer more of a private setting, less people, less problems. So I'm honest enough as a coach to tell you all that, again, if we're not doing a shared living environment,
say it again, less people.
My model is this, Miss Cynthia. If everybody's got their own room, what are we fighting about? What are we arguing about?
Food.
Miss Mosley, if everybody's got their own room, everybody's got their own TV, because I got a lot of these different styles, y'all. I got private rooms, I got private suites, I have shared. But most of the calls that I get is second chance housing. My guys can't afford this private suite. Now, Shea calls are different. They got money. My people barely got the money to live into the room that you see on the screen right now. So again, for me, I like the private rooms if the math makes sense. Now watch me go deeper to you on the coaching level. If the math don't make sense, I can't do private rooms because I'm running a shelter now versus a housing program. And remember, just 6 minutes ago, I told y'all, I want y'all to make enough money to feed your family. So if I put 1 person per room in this 4-bedroom home and the math don't make sense, as the young folks say, the math ain't mathing, we can't do that.
Right.
And we have to put 2 people per room in order for it to make sense and to be
Correct.
profitable. Remember, guys, I'm a coach on both sides of this. I want y'all to make money, but I want you to change lives in your city. But if you ain't making money, how is that possible? So I want you to do both. So for me, I hate to talk out of a double-sided tongue, but I'll end it here, Shay. If the math makes sense for me, oftentimes for us, Shay, if we own the property.
Yeah.
Because if I lease it or rent it, it may be so high that I can't do private.
Yeah.
But if I own that place, Shay, I may do private because, again, for me, less people, less problems, and I can scale faster.
People don't understand.
On you, Shay.
Y'all really don't understand when we talk about less people, less problems. Listen, I remember having that 3-2, and had how many? We had 6 women in that place, and it was a smaller location. And can I tell you something? Headaches. Now bigger space. The ability to literally house 10 women, but I know the there's a little bit of when you cattiness that can come with housing women. So you got to be mindful of how you distribute that weight within the
and
house.
Shay, there's some things in the chat because the people did respond. I want you to kind of knock them all out. So I want to answer Nerlandy's question, but I want to go deeper on that. So I'm going to skip over to what Miss Mosley stated. She said, private is better. My issue is making up the loss of income. They want the private room at the shared room cost.
They can't
Come on, Miss Mosley. We get a lot of them calls. Talk about it, Shay.
They can't afford it. And that's where you become a consultant to the
I
potential
love
client
that.
or resident, right? That's when you inform
Gotta
them
educate.
of the math, right? You've got to let them know that utilities are included, and a utility bill on, I'm going to tell you, a utility bill at my 5-bedroom, 3-bath is close to $500 a month, right? So you've got to include these things into your daily rate or your bed fee, because, and that's on the high end. That's my summertime bill. But be mindful that if you cannot turn a profit or at least break even, if it's in your mindset to break even, I'm a nonprofit, I break even, right? There's times that I do have surplus, and that surplus goes into, other things like we rent washer and dryer, had to buy another fridge, had to have some repairs on the AC that cost a lot of money. There was a lot of things that surplus goes back into. So you have to be mindful of how you structure out your bed fees. And again, you're going to have to educate those individuals, right? Go start doing things like reviewing what's the average rental rate in your area for a 1-bedroom, a studio, heck, a hotel, extended stay, right? And see where you fall in that. For us, the most raggediest extended stay, costs more than my private room. And I make sure of that because while I make sure of it, or I'm able to educate on it because I know what I provide, a clean, safe, affordable living environment.
And I typed it in the chat, and Shay said it, but I'm just reiterating. Sometimes, guys, as a housing provider, it's your job to educate these folks on what they can afford.
Unrealistic expectations.
That's it. Somebody type that in the chat.
Am I brain draining?
Unrealistic expectations. Somebody please type that in the chat and put quotes around it, because that's what it is. And Ms. Mosley just stated it. They call it talking about they want her private room, but they only got the shared room money. So sometimes you got to educate them on what they can afford about their finances. Meaning, I know that every call that we get and every call that my assistant Jess is going to take, when we're asking certain questions, we often ask about cigarettes and coffee. Now, I jokingly say this, but I'm serious. The population that we serve, they love cigarettes and coffee. Sometimes Jess finds herself or me educating them. Hey, man, don't you smoke cigarettes? Don't you like your coffee and you'll play your lotto? Bro, you can't do all of that with this private room.
Right.
Now, this shared room at $740, bro, you're going to have over $235.16 left over every month. But, bro, if you get this private room, which I know you won't and really can't afford, you got no money for cigarettes, coffee, and you can't play your lotto. Man, Mr. Derek, boy, you sure make a lot of sense, man. So sometimes I'm trying to tell y'all that not only are we housing providers, Shay said it when she first started talking. You're going to be consulting them. Why do you think we teach you guys to start this as a business, and when you pick your NACE code, it's consulting, not real estate? Now I'm going deep on you, because you are consulting on housing,
Correct.
on what's the best decision to make. And sometimes, because I'll admit, guys, more times than not, it's worked when we've showed them that, hey, man, you can't afford this 900. Take this 740 shared room. You got a great roommate, bro, and save $230 a month.
Yeah.
Because you told me on the day of your assessment that you want to save $15 a week to be able to buy you a new scooter. Remember that, buddy?
Mm-hmm.
So see how you reminded him of the goals that he
His
set?
expectations.
Because Shay, on our assessment that we give the people in our coaching package, talks about what are your goals.
Yeah.
So you got to remind them of what their goal was the day that y'all met. Does that make sense?
You got it.
3 of y'all put yes in the chat if that makes sense. Like just 3 of y'all type the word yes if that makes sense. So again, back to the chat, because I want Shay to also talk about this, and people are really being active today. So I appreciate that. Angela says, I personally prefer private, but the community makes the decision. Now that sounds like somebody that's got our coaching, because we talk about that all the time. Even though in your little heart, you want to house military veterans or you want to house the elderly adult. One of your first 16 calls is for that middle-aged adult or the guy that's aging out of foster care. Mm-hmm. How do you deal with that? So that's what Angela means by allow the community to dictate the need. Correct. And not so just from your head knowledge of what you think your community needs, but let the community kind of dictate that. Shay, I got another one. Charmaine from Canton, Ohio, has got a duplex, Shay.
Okay.
She said that one side is going to be set up as shared, the other side will be private. What do you think about Charmaine's idea of that? And Charmaine, put in the chat as Shay's answering it. Is this a 2-1 duplex, 3-1, 4-1? Get a little bit more display, because I want Shay to dive in on that.
I do.
Because I like how she's got a duplex and she's on both sides, because my teaching tells you don't go get no duplex if you don't control both sides.
Exactly.
Charmaine owned this place, so she got both sides. I love the fact that she's able to split it and make a choice. What's your thoughts on that?
I'm gonna say again.
And will it be men or women, Charmaine?
That part, and that's the reason why I'm kind of skeptical on giving the answer. I'm still gonna say let the community dictate your usage of your premises, because what you don't want to do is find. Let's say let's say the shared side where you've got shared, the shared setup. And then your other side where you want to do the private setups, the population types are significantly different. What you don't want is that shared population to turn off the ones that are the private side. So you've got to be mindful and I would honestly let the community dictate. Because if you're seeing that there's an influx of individuals with that, might be mental health background, maybe substance abuse background, maybe all of those things combined, you want to be mindful of how you put those two different genres of people in one location. I would also tell you, look at the community that your duplex is located in. What does the aesthetic from the outside look like, and how would it be welcomed within that community? Because again, when people start seeing a lot of high traffic in and out of a property, it can be a raise for some concerns. So you want to be mindful of that as well. So I'm going to just say, I'm going to lean back on letting the community dictate. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'm going to say, let the community dictate, because ultimately I couldn't do, let's say, let's put it this way, Derek. Let's say my house was a duplex, right? And then I decided to bring in, I have my ladies that some work from home, some, leave to work. And then they're adjacent to a group of individuals that have a mental health background. That may not sleep at night, that may bang on walls, mm-hmm. may just be loud and obnoxious, and that noise reverberates across to the other unit. So you've just got to keep those key factors in mind, because the mental health population or the elderly population may live a little different than those ones that are suited or well suited for the private rooms, may not be very cohesive. So you want to be mindful of that. So I just say, let the community dictate. That's going to be my ultimate answer in that
Okay.
one. Yeah.
Anybody else that has
And
an
she said
opinion
men.
on Charmaine's
Charmaine said
idea,
men.
and Charmaine's an IMB member, meaning
Yeah.
that she has our one-on-one coaching, so we'll all brainstorm this together,
Yeah.
of course. But I absolutely love it. I asked in the chat who would she be housing. She said men.
Yeah.
So I love that too. So let's go to another one real quick, Shay, and keep it rolling. Norlandi wants to know, how do you prepare and structure the payment fees for your ILF?
How do I prepare? So are you asking me for rental income? Like, how do I?
So I'll answer, but I
Trying to
think I
make
know
sure
where
I'm confused.
I think I know where she's going, but Norlandi, as I'm explaining it, just go deeper on your question in the chat.
Yeah, because she's saying, how
But
do I
when we
prepare and
spoke,
structure the
but when
payment
we
fees?
spoke briefly, I think it was last week through Jess, I think it was, we mentioned that we use Stripe. So we use a payment processor. And because Norlandi is also one of our coaching clients, Norlandi gets our digital marketing product, which is called digitalflowsolutions.net, which is a CRM system, and her website. So we'll talk about our packages later, but under our one-on-one coaching, she also gets a CRM system and a website that's built by our digital marketing team. Within that is how we take our payments from most of our clients. So we have Stripe, we integrate that with Digital Flow Solutions, and that's called an automatic payment, right?
Correct.
I'm gonna answer it that way, and I'm gonna answer another way that she asked early in the week, and somebody else did too. How do you determine what to charge? I answered this in a Facebook group, and one guy thought this was so genius, and I just thought it was regular. But when you don't know, you just don't know. I mentioned to the gentleman, go to Facebook groups, go to Facebook Marketplace, go to Craigslist, and see what people are renting rooms for in your area. So that way you have an idea. So if you type in the word rooms for rent in Facebook Marketplace or Craigslist, a bunch of things will pop up and show you in your area what people are renting private rooms for, shared rooms, and the private suites, as we would call it, in terms of exactly, it's got its own bathroom. So that's a good starting point for a lot of people, but also here's a better way. When I give you guys the instruction to build a relationship with social workers and case managers, ask them. Who else better than to ask than for the people that are already doing it? And it sounds like this. Hey, Mr. Social Worker, how's it going? And this day, your name can be John. So if your name is Denver, today your name is John or Bobby.
Because you're just making a call.
Because you're just making a call. You're just getting information. Now, if you want to say your real business, no problem. Some people are embarrassed by that. So I tell people that day, your name is John. Hey, good morning, Mr. Social Worker. My name is John, and I'm getting ready to open up another program right here in your area for housing folks. What are your clients used to paying for a private room and or a shared room in this area? I don't want to be overpriced, and I want to make sure that we're serving people the right way. Can you give me an idea where that number falls at?
Right.
So see how you taking the guessing game out of it, and you allowing the provider themselves to tell you what people are used to charging. So guys, when I first got into this game, everybody was charging $700 to $850 a bed. I came in the game charging $600. I raked the whole game.
Yep.
Because everybody else was charging $700 and $800, but y'all had rats and roaches. It didn't look very nice. We came out and brought this nice model that looked good, that smelled good. I was like, wow, this guy's only $600. And that's how we kind of took over this whole thing. So guys, this isn't rocket science. A lot of people in your city are trying to do this, but they're doing it the wrong way. So when you get into it and do this the right way, you're going to stand out and you're going to look really good compared to a lot of people that want to do this. So my suggestion is that when you get into this, first of all, do it with the love of God. Do it with also with the idea that you want to expand this thing further and bigger than you. We believe in building something that's bigger than you, that'll outlast you. And again, keep God first in it. We're not housing people in rats and roaches. We're not mistreating people, right? So we're going to offer a clean, affordable environment.
I just want to do a quick mic check.
Oh,
just make sure
we
you
can't
all
be
hear
heard?
us. No, your mom just texted and said something about what's wrong with the mics.
We've been talking for a long time. I can't imagine if somebody could hear what they would have told me.
Nothing's wrong with the mics. Yeah.
Hey, let's do a mic check real quick because I've been talking for a long time without nobody saying anything. Can you guys hear me loud and clear? Give me 5 of y'all to say, yes, Derek, I can hear your big mouth. Because if you can't, we've been messing up.
Yeah, because mom
So
just
give me a few people that says, yes, Derek, I can hear you guys loud and clear. So Nerlandi, also let me know in the chat if we answered your question correctly. Because in the beginning, when we first started, I don't see anybody answering me yet. Can you guys hear me loud and clear? Yeah. Okay. So in the beginning, when we first started, I picked up all my money manually. I
She
rolled
said you
around and
sound
picked it up.
muffled. Somebody said you sound
I
muffled.
sound muffled. Let me move this mic over. So in the beginning, when we first started, I picked up all my money manually.
Yeah, it's muffled sometimes because Derek keeps leaning his face on his mic.
Yeah, so maybe I just keep my big head up.
Yeah,
But now, you know, when Shay said, Derek, this is getting old, like you picking up all of this money, like how can we digitize it? So today we do use a payment processor. There's a ton of payment processors, but we love Stripe. So Stripe is our favorite. And then again, we hook that up to digitalflowsolutions.net. So again, if you guys need a website, no matter what you do, I don't care if you sell chocolate chip cookies or you house the homeless, any kind of business you have, we recommend digitalflowsolutions.net. It's only $97 to build a website. It comes with your phone system, social media, and a bunch of other stuff that's all built into it.
Correct.
For only $97, guys, and only $37 a month to keep it hosted. Now, there's different plans, but the cheapest is the most affordable, what everybody loves. Pay $97, get a website, CRM system built, phone system, and all of that, right? And then only $37 a month to have it hosted on the World Wide Web. So any questions or any concerns about anything that we've said so far, especially during those times when people stated that we were just a little bit muffled? I want to just make sure that people can hear us. And what we'll also do is we'll take a quick commercial break and come back. Please bring all of your questions because we want to make sure that we answer anything that you guys have, and we'll be right back. Hey, what's going on, family? Have you ever imagined starting your own housing program? That's probably why you're here. And if you're looking for one-on-one coaching, like you're kind of getting right now, but in a more of a one-on-one setting, just you and I, that's our ILF Mastery Blueprint. There's a number that they're scrolling below on this screen right now. If you text the word scholarship to that phone number, my team is going to get you some information. So first of all, I'm going to say congratulations and thank you for moving at the speed of instruction. We look forward to working with you. And again, this is only for people that desire our one-on-one coaching, which is designed to watch you succeed from going from a zero to a hero when it comes to information and knowing how to implement this independent living facility model without any mistakes. That's most important. So again, our ILF Mastery Blueprint, guys, there's a scholarship that's available for it that'll slice the price in half, which is also a no-brainer. So again, if you've ever desired to start your own housing program, but you thought you needed a license, you don't. You thought you had to be a nurse, you don't. You thought you had to own the property, you don't. Consider our ILF Mastery Blueprint, where we are going to take you to success and let God use you in your community, housing the homeless and the displaced. Let's get back to the show. All right. So we are back. We are back. I'm going to scroll through the chat to see. I think there were some more questions that we have to get to. Cynthia says definitely we'll be doing both in the future. That means shared and private. She also said shared because the need in my community, mostly homeless individuals. Yeah. So again, I love it that she's already seeing the need in her community. Absolutely. So guys, if you haven't already, we love the networking here as well. Put in the chat what city and state you're located in. Obviously, today's title was HRA and how do you connect as an HRA owner. If you don't know what the HRA is, that stands for Housing Referral Agency. And that's where most people will start at. So whether you have a house or not, most people will start at the Housing Referral Agency standpoint. So many years ago when we came out with this, you had to have a house to make this work. But now today, you kind of sort of don't. You just need relationships. So you guys can get that information from the free webinar. When you text the phrase more info, MOREINFO, to that phone number 407-326-0086, they're going to give you two webinars. One is to be the ILF operator, and one is also for you to be the HRA, meaning that you don't have a house yet, but you do have the relationship and you are getting the calls. And now you can make a referral to still take somebody from homeless to hopeful. And again, you don't need the real estate. You only need the relationship. So there's a 14-minute webinar that we have that we love to show people. Yeah. Because again, years ago, you had to have a house to make this work. Today, you guys can make an impact and an income today simply by watching an ILF webinar and the HRA webinar, which will show you how to house the homeless and the displaced without the need to own or rent any property. So for the last few minutes, I've been showing on screen what are the different populations that you can house in this, because that's another question that came from the Levy family. You guys can house anybody that's 18 years or older. I'll admit my favorite is the elderly adult. I've always had a tight niche or a tie to older people. I have no clue why. Military veterans, over time, I've fallen in love with them. So a lot of my people that I'm housing now, this is a big part of the reason why I started this new business of us power washing. We want to be able to offer jobs to some of these people that we're housing. So my military veterans, if you guys go to Power Stream Solutions over on Facebook, you will see me training already some of my military veterans on how to power wash to make money and an impact in our community. So we believe in keeping our guys busy and out of trouble. And if you keep them busy, you keep them out of trouble. And if you keep them out of trouble and busy, you also can put money in their pockets. So that's the goal for the new business. But what we're seeing a lot of lately, and this is what Shay houses a lot of, is the working individual. Talk about that, Shay. Any difference in your rules with housing somebody that got a job at McDonald's?
No.
Or coming from a hospital?
No, because the expectation is, again, independence.
Okay.
I'm not there to hover or over them. And the goal is to maintain safety in the property. So again, no outside company, no drugs or alcohol, because I don't know what other residents, some of my other residents may have just come from, just entered into sobriety. And that's the expectation. If you want to go out, have a good time, go for it, but don't bring it here. And that's just, again, it's still very independent. People still have the ability to do what they want to do. But again, it's because you're in a shared accommodation with other people that may have triggers or situations or circumstances that have, that can be traumatic to them. I maintain the rules. I maintain the rules. Yep. Whether they're working individuals or people that have, been homeless on the street for many years, it doesn't matter. I maintain the rules.
Absolutely. So other words, the rules are the rules, no matter who you are or where you come from. All right. So for the Levy family, here's a good example of what you guys just asked. Why are we needed and why can't they live anywhere else?
To a 2022 report, an estimated 359 veterans across our state face homelessness.
Transitions Homeless Shelter is opening a new dorm to help get some of those veterans off the streets. News 19's Becky Buds reports.
2 months ago, Navy veteran Zachariah Shaheed found himself without a place to live before Transitions Homeless Center took him in.
Concrete is not somewhere anyone wants to be.
Shaheed was one of the 359 veterans across South Carolina facing homelessness, according to the latest National Point-in-Time Homeless Report.
I'm just thankful and grateful that I've become one that's not of that statistic now.
A new dorm at Transitions aims to bring that number down in Columbia.
28 more beds, 28 more options. That's going to help put a dent in the problem.
CEO Craig Curry says the program is providing 2 case managers, mental health services, food, addiction services, and more to each veteran. Each veteran will be able to stay for around 3 months.
And see, I'm going to stop that right there because I'm looking for the next Shaheed. Like, why wouldn't you guys want to house somebody like him?
Yeah.
Right. So a lot of times and this is for the Levy family, when you guys ask that question, like, what kind of clients are we housing? Like, most people, when they hear this for the first time, they're thinking that we're housing people that can't take care of themselves. Shaheed don't need you to cook his food.
Nope.
Shaheed don't need you to drive him nowhere.
Nope.
And he don't need you to give him medications.
Exactly.
Shaheed needs a second chance at life. He needs a second chance to get back on his feet. So if you provide a roof over Shaheed's head, you keep on the lights and the water and the Wi-Fi, he's going to make everything else work.
Yeah.
And also, to answer your other question, I'm glad you guys asked it. Why also wouldn't I partner with a place like that? Did you hear the guy say that he can only stay there for 3 months? So as part of your marketing campaign, you are to be marketing to that place.
Yeah.
So every question that you guys ask is inside of that video. Put a number 2 in the chat if that makes sense. That's the kind of place that guy needs to know you by name.
Yeah.
The gentleman that said a 30 beds for 30 days going to help more people, you need to know that guy.
Correct. Like Katara knows.
Like there's people that know that gentleman and know that area because that's in South Carolina.
Yep.
We teach a lot of people in South Carolina. They know that gentleman. They know that place.
Yep.
They got flyers on the desk of that place. And these are the places that you're going to market and go to be able to offer your services when it comes to housing. You just heard the guy said that they can't even stay there past 30, what is it, 3 months? So again, you're the stepping stone after that place. You're the graduation after that place. So if you haven't by now, man, make sure you guys go ahead and you scan that QR code because you can quit your job 30 days from now and you don't even know it. And maybe not quit. We use that word resign. Quit just sounds better, but resign is the better phrase. And we don't want you to quit nothing. We want you to lead the right way. And under our coaching, we'll teach you and show you when is the appropriate time to leave your job. Because I always tell people, if I could do something a little bit different, I don't think I would have left my job when I did, how I did, even though I gave a long notice. Things that I know today, I would have just did differently, leveraging that W-2 job.
Yeah.
I would apply for business credit and a lot of that stuff before leaving so that I was able to show the W-2 income. Because trust me, being an entrepreneur is great, but banks and people that want to loan you money, they don't always trust that.
Exactly.
They trust the W-2 job more than they trust this entrepreneur thing that you woke up with and you thought you couldn't start the next day. Miss Shay?
No, you said it. I concur.
You pulled up something here.
I did. Yep. Miss Mosley.
So she says, I have a new, Miss Mosley, I have a new house in Spring Hill. Will be opening in October. Good stuff. Congratulations. Now, just remind me, where is Spring Hill, Florida? I don't want to be ignorant to that. Where is Spring Hill? Remind me, Miss Mosley, where is Spring Hill?
And also, I have a question for Ms. Mosley. Have you started prepping for an open house? That's one of the questions I'm always going to ask someone that is getting ready to open the doors. Yep, Hernando County.
Okay, perfect.
Open house. You have to have an open house.
Absolutely.
Make sure you, like for my newest location, I did two days. Was it 2 days? We did a 2-day open house. You want to get people there, you know, and that's a consistent thing. If they can't make the day and time that you've set, schedule other ones, right? Let them, just like an open house for a real estate event, right? Realtors do it all the time. You should be doing the same thing.
And just to give you an idea of what Shay is talking about and what it looks like.
Yeah.
And we talk about this all the time. So forgive us for repeating this, but for my new people, Shay, who are these people and why were they there and where are they? Explain this like nobody's ever heard this.
So this is the open house at the Angela Denise Foundation's newest location. These are all case managers and social workers from a hospital organization here in Orlando, Florida. It's not just one hospital. It's their, they have mandatory monthly meetings from a corporate level. So like prime example, if it's corporate social service what would be the department? Social services or community outreach. That department meets every month, and all of their local facilities come to one location to meet and discuss things that need to be done from a corporate level. These are what you see here are their case management. Case management from about 7 different hospitals were in attendance, but they work for the same organization. So this is why you want to have an open house, because these are the people that are going to be calling your phone.
Yep.
You want to make sure that they can walk through it. They can ask you questions.
Want them to see what it looks like.
Right?
Proof of concept.
A lot of people do not allow case managers, social workers to come into their shared housing programs because of the deplorable conditions. So what you want to do is be different from everybody else. Allow them in, give them access to come and see where they'll be allowing people to reside once they call you. And that will put you above the rest. I'm telling you, we've seen it, we've done it, we continue to do it.
Absolutely.
And we see the great outcomes.
She said, no, I didn't think of that. So that's why you got us, right? So again, I jokingly say this, but I'm serious. We failed in this business so much that we can't help but to have it almost perfect now. And with God breathing over it and giving us his blessing going, like we've got this thing down to a science now. So to us, it's almost crazy to open up a new facility and not invite the community and not invite case managers. And what's so beautiful about it is this. Guess who put all of this together? Not me and not Shay. our virtual assistants that we use, and we have a whole team of them, but Tara is our executive administrator. She's over everything that we do. But Jess is like right there next. And most of y'all that are here are probably talking to Jess. You've probably got an appointment with me through Jess, or when you called in, Jess was the customer service that answered the phone. So a lot of what we do, guys, is through VA. So Jess set all of this up. The time, the date, the coffee and donuts. All Shay and I did was show up and be great and walk people through this lovely brand new facility that not only Shay bought, but rehabbed it. We ain't even talked about that yet. Shay bought a piece of junk, y'all, rehabbed it to this beautiful facility and turned it from a 4-bed to a 5-bed. Talk about that as soon as we come back. Let's get a word from David and Dennis.
Hey, David, did you know that you can start your own housing program and it doesn't require you for you to own the property and you do not need a license? So how in the world would you do that? I was always told that you had to own the property and that there was always some kind of special license that you had to get from your city to do this. People always told me that there was lots of red tape to jump through. So you mean to tell me these are also not group homes? It's actually simple. They're called independent living facilities, and Forster Consultants actually created it. They hold the trademark for it. So I follow them religiously on Instagram at Forster Consultants as well as Facebook. And every Monday night at 6 p.m., they actually go live on YouTube at Forster Consultants, and I follow them there as well. So you mean to tell me my dream of becoming this housing provider that I've always dreamt of is closer than I realize? And again, you're telling me I don't need a license and I don't have to own the property. Absolutely. You do not have to own the property. You don't have to be a nurse. You don't have to be a CNA, and you can get started as soon as tomorrow. Click the link below for more information.
Jump back into it. Thank y'all so much for being here. We super appreciate it. I always say this now, so don't procrastinate, guys. God has told most of y'all that y'all should be involved in something like this. And procrastination is the arrogant assumption that God will give you more time for something he's already told you to do. So don't procrastinate, guys. My prayer is that you guys get this information from us. And again, through the power of God and through the leadership of the Holy Spirit and our teaching, that you're being called and pushed and pulled into something that, again, God has already told you to do. So don't procrastinate. I'm preaching to myself because I know that we all do it. So every time that I say this, I'm talking to Derek, but I'm also telling you guys, because if I would have never started this years ago, quite frankly, there would be a lot of people that will still be suffering today because I didn't move at the speed of instruction. So I'm going to tell you guys the same, because that's also what we live by. It's called moving at the speed of instruction. A lot of you guys never had the instruction of how to do this. Now there's no excuse because you got us. So for such a time as this, God has blessed y'all to be merged with us, and we're going to show you how to do this. Your job is to move at the speed of instruction and don't procrastinate, because if you do, it's the arrogant assumption that God will give you more time for something he's already told you to do. Also, we're offering a scholarship right now for any of our 3 coaching packages. Our ILF Mastery Blueprint is $7,500. That's on a scholarship, but we're adding an additional scholarship if you want it, simply by just texting the word scholarship to that phone number. We also have the ILF Accelerator, which is only $3,000. That's another coaching plan. That's a 6-month coaching plan. The ILF Mastery Blueprint, guys, you stuck with me for life, right? That's $7,500. The Accelerator is $3,000. That's a 6-month. And then we have a do-it-yourself version, the DIY. That's only $997. $3 lower than $1,000, guys. And again, so much comes with it. So make sure that you go to forsterconsultants.com. Look at all the stuff that we offer, but most people know us by our 3 ways that we coach. That's the DIY for $997, the Accelerator for $3,000 for 6 months, and then the ILF Mastery Blueprint, which is what most people get at $7,500. We have a scholarship for either one of those. If you want it, text the word scholarship. Let's get on a phone call together and let's talk about how can we get you started in your city and how fast can you leave your job to become the change in your city. Other than that, man, I'm not going to hold you guys very much longer today.
It's one question.
We got probably 3 more questions that we do want to address, and we'll stay to about 11:20-ish. If you guys have anything other than that, I don't want to take up y'all whole Saturday. My job is just to come here every day 3 days a week to
Not
give this
every
game.
day.
Well, not every day, excuse me. Monday, Tuesday, and Saturday.
Well,
Well,
it's not
actually, it
every
can
day.
be every day if you go on the YouTube channel because we got
Right.
so much content. You guys can get lost on it. Again, over 550 videos easily are on our YouTube channel. Go and get lost in it. Pray, ask God for the proper permission, but tell God you want to get in this. Most of y'all going to church tomorrow. Bring this up to God tomorrow like he never even saw it. Say, God, boy, I joined that boy Derek them or his family on YouTube yesterday, and I want to get in that. And God, if it be your will for me to help people and possess the land like you already told us to, and do your will through real estate, God, so be it and let it happen. And allow the Forston family to guide me 100% of the way. That should be your prayer tomorrow, because I'm going to come here every Monday, Tuesday, and Saturday, and I'm going to give it to you. And then if you want our coaching, I'm offering you a scholarship, and we also got payment plans. We got in-house financing, a ton of ways for you guys to get into that. We want to be able to guide you, because again, don't procrastinate, because if you do, that's the arrogant assumption that you think God will give you more time for something he already told you to do. Other than that, Shay, let's go back in the chat.
Lord have mercy.
Let's see. I can't
So
wait
here's
to
the
hire my
question.
VA
I put
assistant.
one up already.
Good stuff.
Is it better to have a private open house or a public open house? It truly just depends on the buy-in that you get from the community, right?
Yeah.
You're not going to have an open house for all the neighbors to come over and see what
Right.
you're doing.
Yeah.
This is going to be
They're just
strictly
nosy.
for, this is going to be strictly for partners. These are going to be for case managers, social workers, healthcare providers, so forth and so on. I did both. I had an open house where I just literally sent out email blasts to all of my partners and let them know, hey, I'll be hosting an open house. If you're unable to attend, let me know. I can set up something private for you to come and do a walkthrough. So I did both. What about you?
So my idea is just like Shay. I would do this for providers. I wouldn't open this to the community per se, unless you've poured in so much in your community and they know what you're doing and they're backing it. Because remember, guys, when I first started this, nobody was backing this. What is he doing? What are you doing? But now I'm this hero in my community, right? So you got to be careful, because even though you got great intentions, and we laugh and we joke and play all the time, but I want to be serious for 2 seconds. If it's one thing to have great intentions, but if your community isn't backing it, or they're bashing it, or there's people that want to bring this down, don't invite them. Invite the social worker, the case manager, the social service provider, the discharge planner, the people that are struggling to help these people with housing. That's who you invite. Correct. Not your neighbor, excuse me, not your nosy neighbor, Jesus, who don't want you to do this anyway. Why would you invite him? So be careful about who you invite. I would call it private and make it more for the social service setting for people that need this. And then the bigger and better you get at it and more people respect it and notice the need for it, then you bring in the community.
Hold on. I'm gonna be messy real quick. This one right here. Hey, Frankie, I've been trying to call you all week.
They've been cruising.
I'm telling you, I can't get in contact with my people. Frankie, call me. I'm gonna call you when I get done. I need to talk to you about something. Thank you. Dang, man, it's hard to get a hold of these people when they start getting bougie with it.
They are cruising.
Listen, they got ILFs, they got APD, they got everything. We love Frankie and Jay. We miss y'all.
That's what life is about, though, man.
Great job.
Y'all. Good stuff. She said they just got back. So good stuff. Good stuff. Make sure you guys go check out Francesca Dawson, all her great pictures that I'm sure they're posting of that trip.
I'm telling you.
So let's see. Sharitha Gardner Burns, loud and clear. Thank you for being here, Miss Sharitha. Not sure what that comment was for, but thank you. Oh, okay. That was at 11:07. That was like recently,
right?
Though.
But she may be behind.
Oh, okay. So, guys, if there are no more questions, I'm gonna check one more time. We're gonna get ready to close you guys out of here because we got some stuff to do today.
And I'm sleepy, guys. I'm hungry, sleepy, and still got a whole bunch of running to do. But that's the life of an entrepreneur. I wouldn't trade it for the world. So let's take another commercial break, and I'm gonna check the chat one more time to see if we have anything, and then we'll be right back. Let's take a word from David and Dennis.
So, Dennis, in this independent living facility model, right, which y'all call ILFs, what kind of residents can I house in this kind of model? David, that's a great question, and that's actually what makes the ILF model so great, is because it's flexible. So prime example, you can house military veterans, elderly adults, women that are escaping domestic violence, and the list goes on and on and on. So Dennis, where do you get your residents from? I see you guys on TikTok and Facebook, you guys getting all of these houses. Like, where in the world are you getting these people from? Yeah, that's actually pretty easy. Forster Consultants teaches us to use social media such as Instagram, Facebook to let people know who we are, what we do, but probably most importantly, who do we serve? And we do that very consistently. So every day, 7 days a week, there's something being posted about what we do and who we serve, but also building relationships with social workers and case managers. Again, letting them know who we are, what we do, and most importantly with them that we're available. Dennis, how in the world are you able to do this without a license, bro? David, remember the reason why we don't need a license, because remember, the clients that we serve, they're independent. So that means that they can take their own medications, they can provide their own transportation, and they can cook and provide their own food. Dennis, man, you seem to know a lot about this independent living stuff, man. How do you know so much? Well, first of all, I graduated from Forster Consultants University, and I have a master's degree in independent living facilities. And I join the Forster crew every Monday on YouTube at 6 p.m. Eastern. They go live, and that guy Derek, man, he give the game away. So I'm always there. So Dennis, what in the world are the requirements to get started with something like this? The only requirement for this, David, is a big heart for God, his people, and the love for real estate. That's it. And bro, don't think I ain't listening, because I am listening, but where can I find more information like this at, man? Because I really want to get started, man. David, if I were you, I'd follow Derek Forston on Facebook and TikTok, and then I'd follow Forston Consultants on everything else in terms of Instagram, Facebook, and on YouTube. Again, really slowly, David, because you're hard-headed. I'd follow Derek Forston at Facebook on his personal page. I'd follow him on TikTok, but I will also follow Forston Consultants on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. Don't forget, David. Hey, Dennis, man, I really appreciate that, man. I'm going to do exactly what you told me to do. I'm going to follow Forster Consultants on YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook. No problem, David. That's actually what I'm here for. And by the way, where did you get that hoodie? I like that. Oh, this? I got this from Second Chance Apparel. I'll put the link below. This is for aspiring entrepreneurs. And the reason why I love to support it is that every shirt or hoodie that you purchase goes back into housing the homeless. All right. We are back. Give it up for David and Dennis.
David and Dennis.
But we love David. He just hard-headed, y'all. Y'all just bear with David. He's a knucklehead, but he's staying in the game. And that's my advice for you all as well. And big shout out to Ed from California. I absolutely love what Ed said, right? We use the term move at the speed of instruction. Ed said that he gonna kind of add his own twist to it, right? And I love it. Ed says move at the speed of revelation. So that just means to tell me that Ed is the epitome of what we pray for every time that we come on, that hopefully God has allowed us to enlighten y'all in some different way and give y'all maybe a different revelation that maybe you didn't see. A lot of people are in real estate. A lot of people are into helping people. They just never knew that you can merge them two together. So every time that we come on, including this morning, I pray God allow people to see the Jesus in us, allow people to feel it, but also allow us to give people ideas that open their minds, that expand the ideas that can build the kingdom. And again, God, you said, and not us, that the poor, the needy, and the widow will be among us, and it's up to us to take care of them. And God, if you would allow us to do that through real estate, we'll be ever so careful to give you all the glory, all the honor, and all the praise. And that's exactly what we do. So Ed, we appreciate that. And thank you for waking up extra early, because if you're in California, you're super early. So we respect anybody on the West Coast that joins us on Saturdays. A lot of you guys catch the replay because it is very early. But thank you so much, Ed. We really appreciate that. And Ed, if you could just put in the chat, how did you originally find us? Was that YouTube, Facebook, or Instagram? In fact, everybody do that. How did you guys originally find us? We love to say thank you and always thank everybody for following us, because again, you guys got a lot of choices of where you could be, and y'all chose to be here, and we appreciate that. We used to go 3 and 4 and 5 hours long. We noticed after a long time that was a bit much, right? So we started to be very respectful of everybody's time. Like right now, today, it's only 11:20, and we're going to be out of here in less than probably 10 minutes. So Facebook groups. So again, thanks, Ed. I appreciate that. And again, if you've never left a 5-star Google review, we would appreciate it. We jokingly say that we don't pass around an offering plate. We don't charge people for this information. Only the folks that want the one-on-one coaching, that want to be a part of this culture, this family, this movement, Those are the people that usually get one of those 3 products, especially the ILF Mastery Blueprint. But again, if you never buy anything from us and you just show up, no problem. But we do, and we would appreciate a 5-star Google review. So if 10 of you all can just scan that QR code, say something really nice about us and hit that 5, we would really appreciate it. But also share it with somebody else. Tell your pastor, your preacher, your bishop, tell your community, right? And allow them to also to join us so that we can share the information with them. But again, that's all y'all owe us today is a 5-star Google review. I would really appreciate that. But other than that, I'm going to pray I'm out of here, Shay, and that's it. You got anything, honey? Now unto him that is able to do exceedingly abundantly above all we can ever ask or think, according to the power that worketh in us. You guys be great, and we'll see you Monday at 6 p.m. Eastern. Don't
Have
wait
a
to be
good
great.
one.
Hey, what's going on, family? I super hope you guys are enjoying this information. But let's just say you want more one-on-one coaching, just like what you're receiving now. You're actually looking for our ILF Mastery Blueprint. So that's our hand-holding one-on-one coaching, where that's what most of the people that come to us, that's what they want. They don't want to just watch me on YouTube all the time, right? They want me in their back pocket for one-on-one coaching. And what's super powerful about it right now, that there's a scholarship that's actually available that brings that down to only $7,500, a long ways from the normal price of the 15 grand. So even doing this live right now, if you guys text IMB below, my team can send you over some information. But nevertheless, definitely go over and see ForsterConsultants.com and check us out there as well. Let's get back to the show.
Hey, David, did you know that you can start your own housing program and it doesn't require you for you to own the property and you do not need a license? So how in the world would you do that? I was always told that you had to own the property and that there was always some kind of special license that you had to get from your city to do this. People always told me that there was lots of red tape to jump through. So you mean to tell me these are also not group homes? It's actually simple. They're called independent living facilities, and Forster Consultants actually created it. They hold the trademark for it. So I follow them religiously on Instagram at Forster Consultants as well as Facebook. And every Monday night at 6 p.m., they actually go live on YouTube at Forster Consultants, and I follow them there as well.
Hey, what's going on, family? Are you somebody that needs some help in your life or your business? Are you somebody that has a lot of ideas, but you can't quite get them out? You probably need a virtual assistant, guys. And again, at $5 an hour, that's an absolute cheat code for you, your life, your family, and your business. Because oftentimes these virtual assistants, guys, can do a lot of what we can't. And they often come with a bachelor or a master's degree. So when it comes to the educational side of it, guys, these VAs are, again, the cheat code to everything that you're probably looking for. Most of you guys have a full-time job, so it's hard to kind of implement a lot of the ideas that God is giving you or the ideas that are in your heart. You should be visiting va101.co to get a virtual assistant that can help you in your life and your business and get some of these ideas out of your brain onto paper and then to implementation. One more time, visit va101.co, not .com, but va101.co and get a virtual assistant, guys, for $5 an hour. It's the cheat code, and it'll be the best decision that you ever made. I promise. We figured out your problem. You have a great business or a great business idea. You just don't have a website. So visit digitalflowsolutions.net and get the best website in the world for only $97. And then you just pick your monthly plan. Let's get back to the content.
Have you ever wanted to open your own group home? Were you told that you needed a license from the state? Were you told that you had to hire staff? You were probably told that you had to own the property, right? Let Forsting Consultants introduce you to Independent Living Facilities, ILF, which are group homes that do not require a license, staff, and you don't have to own the property. At Forsting Consultants, we walk you through the entire process of how to operate your own independent living facility. We don't just give you a bunch of videos to watch on your own, which could get confusing. Here is what you need to do next, in this order. Step number 1, subscribe to our YouTube channel at Forsting Consultants for tons of secrets on how to start your own independent living facility. Step 2, sign up for our webinar at forstingconsultants.com to learn more about this great opportunity. Step number 3, purchase our best-selling book, How to Open an Independent Living Facility in 10 Easy Steps. Step number 4, contact us for your free consultation so you can quit your boring job in the next 90 days.
Hey, what's going on, family? Have you ever imagined starting your own housing program? That's probably why you're here. And if you're looking for one-on-one coaching, like you're kind of getting right now, but in a more of a one-on-one setting, just you and I, that's our ILF Mastery Blueprint. There's a number that they're scrolling below on this screen right now. If you text the word scholarship to that phone number, my team is going to get you some information. So first of all, I'm going to say congratulations and thank you for moving at the speed of instruction. We look forward to working with you. And again, this is only for people that desire our one-on-one coaching, which is designed to watch you succeed from going from a zero to a hero when it comes to information and knowing how to implement this independent living facility model without any mistakes. That's most important. So again, our ILF Mastery Blueprint, guys, there's a scholarship that's available for it that'll slice the price in half, which is also a no-brainer. So again, if you've ever desired to start your own housing program, but you thought you needed a license, you don't. You thought you had to be a nurse, you don't. You thought you had to own the property, you don't. Consider our ILF Mastery Blueprint, where we are going to take you to success and let God use you in your community, housing the homeless and the displaced. Let's get back to the show.